My name is Michel Taride, and I'm the President of Hertz International. I didn't know what to do with my life. I was about 24 years old. I was living in Nice, and one day, coming back from the beach, my mother told me, well, you've got to have a proper job. I was a musician at that time. And she says, here's a piece, here's an advertising in the local newspaper, you'd better go and get the job. And I said, well, in the end, I couldn't say no. I reluctantly went, and guess what? They recruited me. So I started with Hertz 32 years ago at Cannes Airport, Pride Airport, as a junior branch manager. I had one person to manage. Of course, there was no computer. I know we talk about technology today, but zero, all manual. I was washing my cars, doing my reservations, doing my local sales, and working from the sunrise to the sunset. So very long hours in the summer. So I certainly worked very hard. I have to tell you, after 2 years, they started to promote me already, but I said, no, I'm not ready for this life. So I took my backpack, I said goodbye everybody, and for about a year I traveled around the world, which is very important for the following on of my career. But essentially, I spent 10 years in operation, managing bigger and bigger locations, then regions, then about 10 years in commercial, sales, marketing, even a little bit of human resources. And then 10 years later, I was very lucky to actually be promoted to be the general manager of your country, Michels, which is Italy. One of my best times in my life. Came back to France. I managed France, which is our largest subsidiary. Also the equipment rental business, which is the second business that we have. I can tell you that later, for Europe. And then came to London 12 years ago and managed really Europe. And since just 3 years now, I'm in charge of Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia, Pacific for all our businesses. So it's been a good ride. Well, it's a great company, number one. It invented the car rental business in 1918 in Chicago. And I encourage anybody who wants to, it's a great case study. And always grew through service and innovation, effectively. That's what is in our DNA. So in 1950, Hertz decided to go overseas and went to France. And then became quite quickly a global car rental company. But we do other things now. Now we're a multi-brand, multi-businesses. So yes, we are famous for renting cars, but we also rent equipment for roadwork, construction, and industry, in particular in the US, but also in other countries. We are now into leasing. We are also in car sharing and urban mobility. And just this week, in fact 4 days ago, we announced the acquisition of one of our competitors. So this acquisition I'm talking about, obviously, is Thrifty. And Thrifty is a very significant player in the US, but also with a great international presence. In fact, they operate in 82 countries. And their specialty really is about leisure. If you combine all of this now, it's about a $10 billion business. We count in dollars. We are present in about 150 countries with around 10,000 locations, and we employ about 30,000 people. I guess the three big directions that we are pursuing. One is, believe it or not, even though we are present in 150 countries, we are looking at geographic expansion. So of course now it's all about emerging markets, China, where we are, India, we're even about to open Mongolia, there's a big mining industry there, Vietnam, so continuing to close the gaps and grow our footprint, if you will, whether it's in mature economies or in emerging markets. That's number one. The second is enlarge the range of offerings. So I just mentioned about the acquisition of Thrifty. We're going to have now three brands. So Hertz as a premium brand, probably a mid-tier brand, and what people call a value brand. So that's another expansion of our offering, if you will. And then I'd say, very importantly, it's all around differentiation through service, product innovation, and a lot of this will depend on technology, as you may expect. We have different type of customers. We have, and it's quite balanced actually, we have B2B customers and we have B2C customers. About half of them rent for their business activities. The other half runs for private reasons. And sometimes those are the same customers, by the way. That's interesting because their behavior changes depending on the purpose of why they rent. Certainly what they want speed, convenience, value for money, and choice. And I want things to go well. It's got to be also very transparent, no surprises. Those are effectively the trends. Certainly in Europe, we are going through, significant economic challenges. So everything which is around budgeting, savings, and making things even more effective, we've got to help them, because actually we provide mobility. We make people mobile. Well, we see a couple of really important trends, I think. One is, and probably driven by the economy and the young generation, people think more about usage than ownership. And of course, a car costs a lot of money. So we see people actually using cars, and that's why car sharing is something which is growing a lot. So that's one trend. Usage versus ownership, or rental versus ownership. The second trend is the buying behaviors. So they shop a lot more, and obviously the internet, like for all of us in the travel industry, plays now a key role, make the whole offering very transparent. And of course, they buy more and more last minute, so it makes the business very hard to predict nowadays. That's the second trend. And the third trend, and that's driven by this young generation, as we call Generation Y, is certainly the use of technology. People want to be in control of their experience, and they want to be served and helped by people, but really they want to be in control of their experience, and technology is key, which brings its own set of challenges and opportunities as well. Well, there are certainly many challenges, starting with a challenging economic environment, but let's not talk about that now. I'd like to focus on one, though, which is the challenge of differentiation. We all run the risk of becoming a commodity and fight on price, and that would be disastrous, and actually we would not survive, many of us. So the question is, how, therefore, do we differentiate? And my personal belief, we need to work on two fronts. One is certainly technology, because it makes the customer experience nice, seamless, but to create an experience we also need people. So it's really through technology and through people and culture, company culture. So if you look at a company like Apple, for example, what they've created beautiful products, very easy to use, and they stand aside from the crowd from that standpoint. The second thing they have done, they have created what I would call an ecosystem, whereby you can, on the same platform, do music, photo, video, telephone, and of course computer. And as a customer, you are within this system very happy to be so, and you pay a price premium, and you're very loyal. And I believe that ourselves in the travel industry, we have the same opportunity, because we are players. If we were to play together and join forces, we could create that system and that differentiation that nobody else can do in any other industry. That's why I'm passionate about that very industry, in fact. As a company, I'm very proud of the latest acquisition we just completed, because it's an example of perseverance. We've been working on this for several years, and we had our sets of challenges, whether competitive challenges or governmental challenges. It took a lot of ingredients to get through that acquisition. So I think it's a historical milestone in our 95 years of existence. So that I wanted to focus on this one. From a personal standpoint, I'm hard on myself. I think it's important. So I couldn't tell you I'm proud of anything. What I enjoy the most, however, is because I'm lucky to have a job with an international remit. I'm in charge of 96 countries, and I have this challenge of federating different, and it's a beautiful challenge, by the way, of federating all these different cultures. There's no politics within Hertz. It's just about working together and have the pleasure of working together. At the same time, we're also an American company, so it's really about having the whole world coming together within one company. I think it's a beautiful thing, and that's what I enjoy the most in my job. I would tell you a couple of simple recipes, maybe. I would say to a young person, like what you do and be passionate about what you do, because passion is your drive. If you like what you do, you're gonna be at your best, and you're gonna thrive. That's one thing. Certainly, work very hard and be committed, and think about people first. Your customers, your colleagues, your boss, they come first. You don't come first. So if you do that, you put people first, it will work for you. I'd say be flexible, because the world nowadays is a tough world, and you've got to be able to change and adapt really quickly. So those are the kind of 4 things that can make somebody successful. And of course, you want a little bit of luck as well, but normally it comes with the 4 previous ingredients. It's probably the most difficult question. I think the world is a beautiful place. or it's a sum of beautiful places. Everywhere I go, there is something to grab. I guess, you see, I was born in Morocco, so maybe as a lot of people, we always go back to our roots. It's a beautiful country, so I love going there. As soon as I land, I smell the air. The tan of my skin changes, feel like I'm at home. And it's a beautiful country, which I would encourage you to go to if you've not done so yet, Michaela, because everything's beautiful. People are beautiful, the food is delicious, the architecture is very nice, and you have a wonderful landscape. You have mountains, you have desert, you have the ocean, you have great villages, you have animals, you have all you want, and really nice people, so it feels great.